Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. If you hadn't heard, there was a little event that happened over the weekend. Disney had its D23 Expo where they showed off a bunch of cool things. They honored a bunch of legends out there and a bunch of people, all kinds of other stuff, a bunch of new trailers. And, well, one of those was the Snow White trailer, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, the live action kind of quasi remake of an absolutely beloved animated classic that has been a story that everybody has known and loved for absolute generations. Well, ladies and gentlemen, not only have this as a movie that has been delayed drastically, which acquired a whole bunch of reshoots after Rachel Zeigler decided to stick her foot right in her mouth in the middle of the public eye out there and completely and totally disparage the original source material out there. It didn't go over very well with fans. And now this trailer that has come out, ladies and gentlemen, is getting absolutely ratioed into oblivion. It is not even close. It is not even funny. It is literally currently, at the time of this recording, it currently has 5.8 million views with a dislike to like ratio of 362 downvotes to only 59,000 upvotes. It is abysmally bad. The comments are hilarious, and it is something that should be very well expected considering what Disney has been pumping out the last few years. And this is another prime example of things that should have never been done. A completely and totally lackluster Disney with no kind of real ideas or original thoughts left in their brain whatsoever. All we're getting is sequels and remakes. And guess what? This is another one of them situations where they've spent hundreds of millions of dollars on a movie that will absolutely be turned into a disastrous dumpster fire. So we're check out this article from cosmicbook.news, go over all of the juicy details, check out some of the wonderful memes, and of course get into the details of that disastrous dumpster fire of a ratio that they are currently getting out there right now. How long before they move it over to YouTube Kids, where the comment section is closed? Boy and girls, we'll just have to wait and see if that ends up happening again. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we're inching our way closer and closer to 1,200, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. Let us know what you thought of the trailer, if you'd seen it, what did you think, and whether or not you think this movie is going to end up being a disastrous dumpster fire, or it's something you might actually go see. Rachel Zeigler's Snow White trailer receives massive backlash. Hundreds of thousands of YouTube dislikes. Yes, indeed. Fans aren't all happy with Disney's live action version, and I color us wonder why. Because literally, ladies and gentlemen, we are supposed to believe that Gal Gadot is the evil queen is jealous of Rachel Zeigler's looks. Something stinks here, boys and girls. This is a foolish casting to begin with, and honestly, they don't do anything in the trailer to make her look more attractive than what you're seeing right here, ladies and gentlemen. It just did not pan out very well at all. At the D23 Expo over the weekend, Disney released a trailer for the live-action Snow White movie, which is receiving a massive amount of online backlash. The Snow White trailer on the official Walt Disney Studios YouTube channel has over 300,000 dislikes to only 50,000 likes. Various browser extensions re-enable the dislike features on YouTube. Disney recently delayed the film by a year, which also followed those negative remarks Zeigler made about Snow White, including, "It's weird, it's weird, it's weird, it's weird, it's weird." You remember? It's weird. She doesn't like the original animated movie, and she thinks Prince Charming is a stalker. Yes, boy, color us shocked there. And this is how many times do we have to teach them this lesson, right? You go for something because it has a built-in fan base. The reason why you make sequels. It's the reason why you do remakes, all of that kind of stuff, right? It's the reason why you adapt things from comic books and other stories out there, because you're paying for the built-in audience. You're banking on that built-in audience, on that nostalgia for them to come in and see your movie and give it a shot on the opening weekend. And then when you have your lead actress, the person that is supposed to be the star of this movie, go out there and disparage the original story that so many people love and absolutely adore out there, color a shock there. It's not going to go over very well for the fans. And guess what? A year delay was not enough to erase that from anybody's mind. Trust me, you're going to think this box office is weird, but trust me, it's exactly what we're going to expect. A disastrous dumpster fire. Thanks, Disney. So, of course, the comment section are a lot of fun. A lot of the comments are complaining about the CGI and how they didn't bother to use real dwarfs as well as the casting. And that's the fun part about this over here. Great actors with dwarfism. We want to work on screen. Disney, no, we must protect you from yourselves. Evil Queen, magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest one of all? Mirror, you are. The end. Exactly how this movie should pan out, but of course it actually won't. If I was a prince, I would save Gal Gadot from Snow White. And I mean, yeah, have you seen her? Of course we would. Holy cow. Absolutely. Into oblivion. And this is just, it goes on and on and on. Disney's next step is going to be making Rapunzel bald. The fact that they didn't cast real dwarves for a live action Snow White remake is mind blowing. Why not just do the whole thing in CGI? And this is one of the big things we brought up from the very beginning. Because of course the Game of Thrones actor Peter Dinklage had to go out there and put his nose right in the middle of everything because he had no problem taking dwarf roles and playing the freak and all that kind of stuff in order to build his little way to the top. But as soon as he did that, of course, he yanks the ladder right back up behind him, and all of the rest, he's like, well, you shouldn't cast dwarves as dwarves, and da-da-da-da. You shouldn't cast these people as little people, and yada, yada, yada. What? Like, literally, there was so many of the guys, a lot of the dwarf celebrities that came out there and were like, oh, what are you doing? Why are you trying to take jobs from us? No, this is some of the few roles in acting that we can actually get. A lot of people, it's our access to the role, to the industry, and there's not a lot of jobs out there for those kind of people to begin with, so this is something that he's literally taking this from them, and there were so many people that were extremely upset about this, and you should be too, because this is the ridiculous. Dwarves deserve jobs just like everybody else. Disney, why do you hate people with dwarfism? What is wrong with you? I don't even know what kind of phobe that is, but you're one of them. You're clearly a dwarf phobe. Yeah, I really hope this movie tanks so badly that Disney will learn its lesson. We shall see. It's definitely going to tank. The only Snow White story where the evil queen looks so much fairer than Snow White. Should have cast Gal Gadot as Snow White. Making the dwarfs CGI so they don't have to hire dwarf actors is wild. I have to admit, I do admire the bravery of the Walt Disney Studios keeping the comment section opening. And it's just goes on and on and on and over. Stop being lazy. Make something original. What's the point of doing a live action remake of an animated movie if you're just going to animate half the characters anyway? Peter Dinklage climbed the ladder, then proceeded to kick it out from underneath him so other dwarf actors or actresses could follow. So no other dwarf actors or actresses could follow him. Absolutely. Snow White and the 7 CGI abominations. I think one of my favorite ones from the chat that I've heard so far is Snow Tan and the 7 serfs. Because literally there's a scene in here, like these guys were her singing, by the way, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to play any of this and not get copyright claimed for it or anything like that, but we're going to play a little bit of this because this is the singing that is supposed to like be for magical creatures and just like bring you all in. And literally, like, haven't the dwarves like already been working a hard day at the mine? Why are they helping you clean their house? Like, literally, why are you cleaning their house? Isn't Snow White supposed to be the one helping clean all this stuff before they come home after a hard day of work because they're letting her stay with them?
So whistle while you work.
I mean that. I mean, you guys remember the original, right? Like, that's supposed to be what we're getting. That's supposed to be what's enticing all of these magical creatures and all of these birds to fly in and help her clean the house and do all this other kind of stuff. And then, yeah, she's literally putting the dwarves to work. She's literally putting the dwarves to work. Look at that. She's literally putting the dwarves to work. They've had a hard day at the mine all day long, and she's in there making them clean. I mean, this is just absolutely abysmal. What's the point of doing a live action if you're going to do it with the characters anyway? Snow White and the 7 CGI abominations. Gal Gadot, who's the fairest of them all? Mirror, you, the end. We read that one as well. It's like this is just another situation. The original animated movie had more practical effects than the live action one, and I mean, it just goes on and on and on. They put more effort in CGI than Snow White's dress looks like it's a costume for a kid's party. And I mean, it's ridiculous. This thing is an absolute abomination. It is going to fail miserably. And not only did Disney disrespect the original source material, they disrespected all of the wonderful dwarf actors out there that would have been absolutely fantastic. It would have been their dream to star in a Disney production. And instead, because of one comment from one idiot out there who does not speak for the entire dwarf community out there in any way, shape, or form, now you've completely and totally literally removed all of their jobs and made it to where they could not see themselves on the big screen. How's that for diversity, inclusion, and equity, ladies and gentlemen? Disney completely and totally disrespecting Snow White, making literally hiring an actress and a beautiful, gorgeous, evil queen that literally makes no sense whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. And now we've got an abominational, absolute roasting that Disney deserves is a ratio for a trailer for a movie that is going to cost them hundreds of millions of dollars at the box office. And boys and girls, March 2025 cannot come soon enough, because I cannot wait to report to you about how much money the Walt Disney Company loses on yet another remake, another abomination, another sequel, another thing that the fans and the audiences simply did not ask for. And come on, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, right from the beginning, is anybody ever going to believe this is the kind of the fairest one of them all? No, no, no. And it's going to be exactly the disastrous dumpster fire that Disney deserves. And this is what they get. Your diversity, your inclusion, and all your equity nonsense doesn't pay the bills. So yes, woke Snow White will fail miserably at the box office, just like every other woke abomination the Walt Disney Company has continued to pump out over the last few years, time and time again, no matter how much of a disastrous dumpster fire it turns out to be every single time. And guess what, Disney? Enjoy the hundreds of millions of dollars of loss. Fan blame all day long if you want to, because at the end of the day, we know the truth. The audience and the fans and the customers, the paying customers' voices and opinions are the only one that matters. Not your diversity, not your inclusion, not your equity, not your check boxes, not any of your political BS. We, the audience, you, the fan out there, are the ones in charge. And this once again proves it. Snow White and the Snow Tan and the Seven Surfs, you're going to be another disastrous dumpster fire for the box office for Disney, cost them hundreds of millions of dollars. And guess what? It's exactly what you deserve. You did it to yourself after all.